The following program contains coarse language. The Red Sky Network recommends adult supervision for viewers under the age of 15.
Hey guys, we're at the Falls Festival down at the beautiful Lorne for the New Year's Eve Festival 2014.
That's right, Catherine. There's so many great artists. 4 days of camping, music, corn on the cob sticks,
all that jazz.
Expensive hamburgers, all that kind of jazz. But great bands, and we're going to be having a few interviews, aren't we?
We are. Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Look, I'm a bit of a rocker, so Kingswood, DC Deathrays. I'm looking forward to Cold War Kids be pretty cool as well. What about yourself, though, Catherine?
Oh, look, I kind of like the more chilled out. Vance Joy is definitely a favourite. Megan Washington is going to be one to see as well. I think it's going to be a huge couple of days. I'm really excited. Definitely.
And kick it off with the interviews. We've got Alex, and he's having a chat to the guys from Client Liaison.
Let's check it out.
Hello everyone, I'm here with Client Liaison at Falls Festival in Lorne. How's it going, guys?
Great. Yeah, awesome.
Fantastic. Now, I'm really chuffed to be speaking with you today because 2014's been an amazing year for you guys. From Laneway earlier this year and now Falls, what's been the highlight of 2014?
I guess for us it's like not so much highlights but so many music videos. I think we shot like 10 videos or something, so it was a really busy year. It's pretty fun being productive, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. And with those music videos, I was just going to say one of my favourites is End of the Earth. Yep. I love that one where you're in the snow and there's that shot of you guys on top of that mountain there.
Feed the rhythm.
Yeah,
feed the rhythm.
Feed the rhythm.
Yeah.
Feed the rhythm. That was fantastic. Were you actually on top of a mountain there, or was that all digitally?
Yeah, we're on top of a mountain. We used a drone and
yep.
It was pretty cold up there, but it was, like we only had a very small window where the clouds raised, yep. Sunset. No, the clouds lowered, sunset just like peeking across, and then we got the drone up. The batteries were cold. It was like we only got 4 minutes of footage, but that was all we needed. So yeah.
No stunt doubles used.
Yeah.
We grew up skiing and snowboarding. It's a big passion of ours.
Oh, that's great. That worked out perfectly then. Yeah. Fantastic. Now, just with the music videos, I was just wondering, because you've created music videos for pretty much all the songs off your latest EP. How involved are you guys in the creative process with the music videos?
The idea stems from us, and we always kind of conceptually come up with something, and sometimes we see it through all ourselves with our friends and our own cameras.
With the exception of feeling.
That was a director's idea.
We workshop with our friends. We work with our friends.
So, and then the director will take it from there, and they'll take our ideas and morph them, and it's collaboration. So.
Hey everyone, I'm here with the guys from Milky Chance. How are we going today, guys?
Good. Very good.
Very good to hear. Now, you've both been friends since school, but you only did a few gigs before recording your debut album. Did you ever feel that was a risk at all?
To record it?
Yeah.
No risk.
We kind of pretty happy with all the songs. You just thought, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we never had expectations. I mean, we didn't even had expectations, or we didn't plan to do it live or something. We just recorded it for fun.
Yeah, just cool.
To do it.
Very easy.
And you recorded the album at home, actually, with very minimal equipment. Was that something that you guys would choose to do again, or is there a reason why you chose to do it that way?
We chose it because we didn't know another way. And I think we would do it again because it was a pretty comfortable way to do it, and we really enjoyed it.
It's very cozy.
We had fun.
My mom's making cookies and everything.
Some tea in between.
So it's eating in between.
Yeah, it's very good.
So it was a real cruisy experience for you both.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Now, the song Stolen Dance was uploaded straight onto YouTube and was picked up straight away. So many views very quickly. Were you quite surprised with how quickly that took off?
Yeah. I mean, we're
still surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have 100 million now.
Getting pretty popular.
And it's pretty crazy still.
What inspired that track for you both?
Well, he wrote it, so you have to ask him.
Well, I think there's one special thing about that song because it took me about more than 2.5 years to write it, because the chorus was existing at that point, and then 2 years later I wrote the verse. So it's kind of a mixture of when I was younger, like 15, and then getting older and like having different experiences, putting them together. I think that is what it is about.
First of all, I want to congratulate you guys on the ARIA win for Black Rat, and the album itself. It's really awesome. It's probably one of my favourite albums of the year, to be honest. How's the reception been for it? Like, still this late after it's come out?
I've been overwhelmed with response to it. Overseas, we seem to like, the shows are getting better, and we, especially in places like England, Europe, we hadn't played in 2 years there, and the crowds were bigger after this record was released and stuff. So it's been really good, and I don't know, it just feels like we keep moving forward, and we're starting work on another record really soon. So can't stop can't stop moving.
So how's the reaction been to the album in, say, Europe as opposed to out here?
I don't know. It's hard to really gauge because we're a different sort of position over there in terms of fan base. But in Australia, it's been great. We've the shows, the album tour back in May was the best shows that we've ever played in Australia. And we've got another tour coming up next year, which I think is going to be really, really good as well. And I think, a little bit comes down to that record and the songs off it. So it's nice that people seem to be into it.
Fantastic. One of the things I want to touch on with the Arias, because you took our best hard rock metal album. Now, because we were in the press room with you guys, and it was sort of interesting to note when you came in to get the award, it was, in comparison to a lot of the other artists, it was very low key. Like, say, when Five Sauce walked in, there was just questions. Yeah. Do you think that hard rock / metal, it's not taken sort of seriously enough in the mainstream?
I don't think we're taken seriously in the hard rock sort of world. I don't know. I honestly we didn't know that we were gonna win that award, and I'd have to go up and do all that sort of stuff.
I always wanted to win a metal award, but I never thought we would get that in this band.
Yeah.
I always thought I'd have to be in a metal band. But we'll take it.
Look, I'm not going to lie. It's been a belter year, with the ARIA noms and obviously all the sort of critical and commercial, the reception you've got from just fans around Australia. What has been a personal highlight for you?
There's been a few. There's been a big year for milestones. I think Hottest 100 placing in that was amazing, and then Splendor, the ARIA nomination, they're probably the top three.
Fantastic. And look, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute just to talk about the EP Vessel. Obviously, the fans might have heard given the chance, but if you go into a bit more about the writing process of the whole EP, because it's actually quite a multi-layered, multi-textured percussion masterclass. I really dig it, man. But if you could tell us a bit about the writing process of that.
It was kind of a long one because it was this whole project. The reason I was kind of writing the music was the music that didn't fit any other project that I was doing at the time. It just kind of sat in my iTunes, and I realized I had so many of them that I should put some out.
These the offcuts?
Not the offcuts, but the ones that genre-wise just didn't fit with anything else I was doing. And so that's kind of how it came about. And when I released Given the Chance and it became time to probably release something else, I wrote a whole bunch more and then just chose between songs from that and songs that I'd already written and developed. And so it's kind of the best ones, in my opinion, of the last 2 years. So it's quite a long process, and it was kind of clunky, but that's kind of how it happened.
Hello everybody, I'm here with Dan Sultan at Falls Festival. How are you, Dan?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Congratulations, obviously, on the ARIA success. Another success at the ARIA is fantastic.
Thanks, mate, yeah.
And just thinking about, obviously, you had the success with the Blackbird album, but now we're looking at your new EP, Dirty Ground. Obviously, it came quite quickly after the album. Give us an insight as to what the songs are all about on this EP.
I'd written a lot of songs for Blackbird, and I wasn't writing for a long time, for years actually, before I started writing for Blackbird, and I haven't sort of stopped since I started, so it had been a while since I'd released anything, so I just wanted to get on with it, and I wanted to get it out while I can,
Yeah,
and get out while you can, which is another thing, which was the last thing I did before Blackbird. But I wanted to just, while I was there and while I was sort of running, up and running, I wanted to knock it on the head. Yeah.
And it's a lot more stripped back as well. Yep. So more acoustic focus. Yep.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Blackbird, really. Blackbird, there's a lot of overdubs and a lot of production, which I love, and I love recording like that. This was just a room with some microphones and no overdubs, and I just played it live.
Fantastic. And you had some really good co-writers on the album as well, Paul Dempsey and Paul Kelly as well. What was it like to work with those guys?
Oh, it's great. We're friends, obviously I have a lot of admiration, a lot of respect for them, but I feel fortunate enough to be able to call them friends, and we just hang out, and I think we had a few cups of tea, and
fantastic.
It was nice. Yeah,
that's great. And the song Mountaintop, where does that kind of come from? I was really intrigued by it lyrically. What's that all about?
Oh, it's about boy meets girl, boy loses girl, usual.
Yeah.
You know, I naturally kind of go towards the love song sort of story when I write. I don't only write love songs, but I sort of naturally go towards that. And it's just, this one's sort of no different, just classic sort of love song. Yeah.
2014 has been a massive year for you. You recently released your first EP in October. How'd you find recording the EP compared to your first 2 singles?
It was, I don't know, when I had Brontosaurus out, I was kind of like, oh, you know, the song's kind of cool, but it's not really what I want to do. So when I wrote those other songs, I was like, this is exactly what I want, but I was really nervous to, you know, see what everyone thought, and it's gone way better than I expected, so it's just been a blessing, really. So
yeah, everyone's loving all the new tracks. Now Switch Lanes has been one of the major hits from it. Absolutely love the film clip for that one. What was the concept behind the animation?
Well, the idea was because it's switching lanes, so the song's about, you know, getting rid of old friends that you don't need, people that are just in different parts of their lives, just outgrowing each other. So the idea was kind of like there's 2 poos and they're like supposed to be your like shitty friends. So I'm like walking and they're like, hey TK, come hang out, and I'm like, nah, and I cross the road and then I just go to like a utopia, which is like my own world kind of thing. So that's the whole idea, and it's meant to be trippy and just like, you know, looks like my Tumblr, so that's the whole idea.
Awesome. Now what can we expect from TK in 2015?
New music, definitely. I'm just working on what I'm doing right now and just trying to improve it. Like, there'll be lots of new music and hopefully an album like late next year or something, and lots more shows and touring.
You describe your sound as brat rap. Is that something you're going to continue down, or can we expect you to explore some more sounds as well?
Well, like brat rap just means me. I'm just always complaining, so I'm always going to be complaining about something. That's why it's like really chatty and whatever. But yeah, I'm going to like explore different ways to write songs and, you know, all that other stuff as well.
Let's go to something more recent. The release of your album, more memorable as well. The release of your debut album.
So memorable.
Yeah.
Forever in our hearts and our minds.
Did you do anything to celebrate the day it came out?
We played the Capitol in Perth.
I think we all, for me it's the best gig we've ever
Probably
done.
the best gig we've ever played.
Yeah. And I don't know if that had anything to do with the fact that it came out that day.
I think so. Probably all of us crowd surfing at the same time at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
To celebrate the release of our first
awesome
ever
achievement. And I mean, your debut album, and it was up for a rock aria as well. I mean, that's
a rock aria.
A rock aria. Not just any aria, but a rock aria.
Rock aria.
Yeah.
A rock aria.
And that asshole Sultan stole it from us.
Look,
such a bad guy. Why would you
really
do that?
mean.
We saw him here before. We had a chat to him, and he said, if you guys meet those Kingswood guys, tell them that I say, haha, I got the aria.
He carries it around and he sees us and he's just like, motherfucker.
We played Byron yesterday and he was to act after us and he just put it in the band room. He put his aria on our table where all our fruit and our drinks are, and we walked in. We're like, "What's this? Did they make a mistake? Did we actually win it?"
Oh, that's my aria.
We got it, and then he poked his head around the corner. He's like, "Suffer in your jocks," and then he went and took it away.
That's what he says. It's suffering your jocks. Wow, it hurts.
Why would you parade your aria around the people that you won over?
I think he's self-conscious. I think he knows that he shouldn't have won that.
Definitely,
that's right. That's exactly right.
Now, you guys, next year you've got a big tour coming up as well to celebrate the album. I mean, you're playing like the Forum, man. That's, I mean, as Melburnians,
it's a bucket list.
Yeah,
that's like I've seen bands at that place. I saw Dan actually there, and
we sang with Dan there.
We sang with Dan
when
there.
we were friends.
When we were friends.
Before he stole our aria.
And heaps of bands, and it's
one
of my favourite rooms. Always has been a favourite room, and a dream to be like to have the potential idea that we would do our own show there as a headline.
It's like I think most of our favourite venue in Australia. Yeah. Definitely mine.
I actually want to get back into the creative process of Raw Times Infinity. Like, like, can you guys break that down? Because obviously, like, we've heard the singles, Sangria, and like Tyson and Live and all that. But yeah, the whole album. Like, tell us how that sort of process went.
It was very creative in the sense that there was no form to it at all. We started writing the first songs before we even released Sangria, which was on a mixtape beforehand. And like, you know, they had already started, and that was about 1.5 years, 2 years before the album. And then we finished about 50% of the album 2 weeks leading up to it. So it's like all just wherever stuff fit in, and yeah, it's just kind of free flowing. We're lucky enough that we can kind of make the music that we want to make, and people will allow us to do that. You know, I mean, like, that's the reason we're here. We haven't had to compromise. So for us, it's kind of awesome that we can go in, do some music, and then not have to second guess as long as we like it. You know, so yes.
Well, like, can I, like, how about some influences? Because, like, it's obviously, like, people say Oz hip-hop, there's obviously sort of a stigma that goes with it, but your guys, like, it's very innovative and sort of free-flowing. Like, what are some influences you guys have had, like, musically?
I reckon we go from Radiohead to, I like Tool, I'm a Tool fan, to people like DJ Shadow, Uncle, to Jay Dilla's obviously the biggest influence on me as a beat maker, quote-unquote beat maker.
The Roots as well is definitely very important.
Yeah, that's basically all of those influences.
Yeah.
Portishead, so it's not just from hip-hop influences.
You can hear that in the album, definitely.
And Fela Kuti as well, like Afrobeat stuff is like a huge part of what we try and do. And we're trying to do more of, like, you know, in the future. It's always like kind of popped up a little bit because it just comes pretty natural for me to rap over it and for Jay to make it. So
Remi's half Nigerian, so the Fela Kuti influence, and his father was telling us a story that he met Fela Kuti in the 70s. Yeah, back when his dad lived in Nigeria.
It's crazy, like crazy story. I gotta try and get my dad on camera one time saying it. It's the sickest story because he tells it so innocently. Because like, you know, like exactly. Like to him, it's like I guess the equivalent of like an old dude in the States who'll be like, yeah, man, I grew up around James Brown. That motherfucker live around the corner.
Hey guys, I'm here with Vance Joy. How are we going today?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. Now, your debut album, Dream Your Life Away, was released in September. How'd you find recording an album compared to your EP?
The EP took about a week. It was very... all the songs were really well worn in, and so we went in and did them all in a day. And then the album, we had, you know, a lot of time, and I guess the more time you have, the more time you kind of just fill that time. It's like when you have time to get out of bed, but if there's no limit, you just stay in bed. So it was really good. We had a lot of time to really mull things over, and it was a great studio in Seattle called Bear Creek Studio, and it was a really cool producer, and I worked with my drummer Ed, who is kind of like my right-hand man when it comes to going into the studio and kind of talking about ideas, and it was very fun, and it was a long experience, and I think you learn a lot about how you work with people over the course of that time. Yeah, definitely. Now, Riptide absolutely smashed the charts. I read it was 2 songs you were actually working on that meshed together, so how did that come about? It was really just you start a song. I started that song and I didn't really think much of it and put it away, and it didn't resurface until I had written another melody that just kind of linked with it, and it was just a nice kind of fusing of those 2 ideas that were lying around, and when they connected, it was like, oh, it fits really well. It's like sometimes I feel like I play a song and I'm like, this is weird, I made this up, you know. But, you know, you don't really make it up. You're kind of using a lot of things that you hear all the time. Like, you hear the same chords from other people and melodies that are kind of slightly similar to other songs. Just you're putting your own spin on them. But with some songs, you feel like you've uncovered something that existed before. And that was the case with Riptide.
I saw you guys play about 6 years ago. You supported Josh Pike, I think, at the Hi-Fi Bar.
The Hi-Fi
Bar.
I remember that gig.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Well, that was the first time I saw you guys, and when I saw you guys, you came across as more of like a jangly pop band. Oh, yeah. And you've really kind of evolved over the past 5 or 6 years or so. So who do you see, I suppose, as your inspirations over the past few years to become more, I suppose, ambient to some extent?
Ambient. Oh. Inspirations. Ambience. I like these terms.
Ambience.
I don't know.
The atmosphere.
The atmosphere.
There's a lot of atmosphere. Covering pepper by the whole surface.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Still doing that. I don't know. I think
we should get a new cover though. Hey, you've got some food in your teeth. Oh, you went for the right spot.
Did I? Really?
Yeah, right. It's this one.
Thanks, man.
Right. I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, just lick your teeth.
There's
still a bit left.
A little bit left.
Oh, wait.
I think you might need some floss for that
Alright,
one.
don't worry about it. We'll do it later.
We'll deal with that later.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The band that flosses together stays together.
Yeah, true.
Really? Well, I mean, it's interesting you should say that, because I hear that you might be one member short in 2015.
I should eat my own words. Yeah, it's true. It's true. The scoop is the JK is leaving everything CC, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so after 10 years,
Jeremy's leaving, which is really sad.
With a heavy heart. Yeah.
It's been an amazing time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has.
So you've been a real part of everything as well, and I suppose now that you're leaving, Jeremy, I suppose what's the plan, Alistair, for 2015? Have you got any idea? Are we going to see a follow-up for obviously last year's success?
Don't answer that. All I can say is I heard a demo in the van on the way down today, seriously, and it was like Amazing. That's sick. All right. So all you have to do is just wait with bated breath.
Now, your new album, There, was released in September. You talk about this album being totally you, and you went through a lot of self-reflection with this album. Can you tell us a bit more about that one?
Yeah, look, I don't know, like, it's kind of just the exercise for writing the album was, to try and be as brutally honest as possible and to use as few, I guess, like, show busy tricks and stuff, like, to just be, like, really candid. And, I was, it's probably something that I'll only probably do once, I reckon. Like, I can't keep making albums like that. Like, well, I just haven't lived enough life, like, to make albums like that. But it was a really interesting experience, and I actually would really recommend it to anybody who's creative to try and, like, just be as brutally honest as possible, just as an exercise, like, not forever.
Just to give it a go, see what happens, see what comes out of it. And you also chose to release this album under your full name, not just Washington. So can you tell us at what point did you decide to do that, I suppose?
Well, it was really simple, actually. Everything that I made before this record, I had made with John Castle, who was my producer, who made all my first EPs, and I Believe You Liar. Mm-hmm. And then he played in my band, and he was just it was like me and him. We were like a team, and I wrote and made this record in London, and he wasn't there, and it just didn't seem right. It feels like Washington. That band is me and John, and that sound is really John. And without him, it just didn't really feel right. So you'd make it a bit of a change. Yeah.
What was the reaction sort of like from the fans with the new music?
It's great, eh?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really positive response to the record. I think if we'd come out and played none of the new material, people would have been disappointed, and it was pretty much half the set was the new record, and everyone went nuts for it. I knew the songs, and we've had that a few times at festivals too. I know for Meredith last year in Queenscliff it was the same. It was also really good for us because our set is a lot of our hits over the years and shit that we love. But to have a whole bunch of new material that we liked playing live was really fun, What's over there?
No, just all the kids.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm just trying to work out who belongs to who, because it's like your kids and then there's Fiona's kids.
Yeah, this is rock and roll.
It's like
next generation of rock and roll in the making.
People. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That's really cool. Now, with the album, I saw you guys playing at Pyramid Rock a few years ago when you were just starting to get back into touring, and you did a track with Mantra as well, which is something that hadn't really done before. How did that all come about, and how did you feel that went?
Well, we wrote this tune. It's kind of like a one-off. We haven't finished it or released it. We ended up doing our own record out of that in a way, but it is a track we'd like to come back to. We recorded a demo of that with Mantra and also with Illy and Phrase as well. But we've never sort of completed the project. I think maybe we'll come back to that after we've gone through this cycle, because it's a track that we did play it a couple of times, and we loved Mantra. I think we could do it as a one-off track. I think remember Woody saying ages ago about it. It seems like it's its own island, that track. Yeah. So I think it'd be a good collaboration, because we do love Australian hip hop, and a lot of those guys sort of grew up watching us. And
I've always been fans of that marriage of heavy rock and hip hop too, which is you don't really hear a lot of, surprisingly. I think it's awesome, especially because we really loved early Beastie Boys stuff and Public Enemy and all that stuff in the late 80s and early 90s, and a lot of metal, and I don't know, it seems pretty logical.
At the start of the year, you released your fourth album, Silence Win. I read that you let the producer kind of take the reins more creatively with this one. What made you choose to do it that way?
I hated being in the studio. I always hated it. Yeah, and I think it was because I had a little bit too much control, and I was like determined to have that control, and I held on to it with this ferocity that just ruined the experience, you know. So by this one, I was really, really just looking for a new way of doing things, and Warren Livesey is such a kind of iconic producer that I was hardly going to get in his way. So it was perfect. I was in awe of him, and I was very happy to just focus on the songs and the performance and let him take control of the rest. It was really...
Kind of just went in, did your thing, and then let him perfect it, I suppose.
Yeah, it was quite liberating. It was brilliant that way.
Now, my favourite song is Single Spark. What kind of inspired that song?
I was talking to myself about 18 months before I had the realisation about what was kind of, one side of the brain talking to the other. I didn't really know what I was writing about, but I was just at a point where, you know, I was kind of beating my head against a wall in a lot of elements of my life, and I hadn't realized that I had got myself into those kind of broken record player kind of ruts, you know. And and the sort of message of why you're looking in the dark, I never knew what it meant until about 18 months later when I realized that I was at a zenith of those awful feelings or those awful ruts, kind of cycles, and it became that's where the song really established its meaning for me.
So you're just fresh coming off your latest album, Hold My Home. It's just amazing because it feels like yesterday Hang Me Up to Dry and Hospital Beds were released. But you've been so prolific over that time. What's been the secret behind releasing so many, albums and songs over the past 8 to 10 years or so?
What's the secret? I don't know the secret.
Yeah, I think it's just, there's two ways to be. You can be really precious about, making sure that people only hear what you think of as the best stuff that you're doing, or you can just kind of document all the different styles different songs that you're writing and recording. And I think we hit a stride, especially with Dear Miss Lonely Hearts and now with Hold My Home. We recorded them both in our home studio, and I think we're just figuring out, especially as it's not really about record sales as much and all that. Nobody's pressuring us in that way. So for us, the funnest thing to do, is to be able to write and record and be at home, so that we have more material when we go out to play. And so it's kind of I feel like we're just hitting this nice stride where we have so much music. We've always had all these EPs and now 5 records, and it's it feels really good, even doing these festivals where it's you want to do all the rockers and you got all these records to play from. It's nice.
And I think one of the great things that we see especially on Hold My Home, is a real diversity of sound as well. When I think about songs like, obviously This Could All Be Yours, First, Harold Bloom, they're all so different from each other. And I think, where does that influence come from to be able to write so many different types of songs? You're picking up new sounds all the time?
I don't know. I don't know. You want to have a diverse record, so you make a diverse record. And I think this record, we have this guy Matt Schwartz has been with us for the last record, playing keys and other things, multi-instrumentalist, and I think he helps us in a lot of ways that we didn't have before.
Well, guys, that's a wrap at Force Festival down in Lorne. We've had an awesome time here. We'd like to thank a few people. We'd like to thank the artists, the guys at Secret Service, and Michelle. We hope everyone's had an awesome time. We definitely have. And from everyone here at Red Sky Music Team, we hope you have a wonderful 2015.